I want to speak a bit about Vincent's technique in particular, because I think that his experience as a radio actor was sort of central to how well he was able to play horror performances. His voice brings such authority and menace to his performances. So I'm just wondering, with that kind of a sensitivity running through the pictures that you're making, and also when you're working with screenwriters like Richard Matheson and Robert Towne, who are very dialogue-oriented, does that kind of attention to dialogue ever threaten to set you back in your schedule? Does it become a problem?
No, not really, because both Bob and Dick were brilliant writers. Dick, of course, has had a wonderful long career. Bob wrote Shampoo and then got an Academy Award for Chinatown and had a wonderful career as a screenwriter. They were excellent dialogue writers. The only possible thing, I would sometimes trim the dialogue a little bit, simply for motion pictures. It's a visual medium, not an audio medium, but I would make very few changes in the dialogue. I could remember writers where I'd be going through the third and fourth draft, sometimes a fifth draft, trying to get the thing right. But with both Dick and Bob, they essentially had it on the first draft. There was very little rewriting with either one of them. And Vincent, maybe because of the radio background and his great voice, was very good with the dialogue scenes.
I've visited a few film sets in my time, and I've seen certain actors who have an innate ability to sort of keep everyone's spirit up on the set, and it's really helpful if you're running late. And I would imagine that with your films, you had to meet a certain amount of footage every day, and I was just wondering if Vincent was that kind of an actor who would interact with the crew while he was working and keep their spirits up.
Vincent was that kind of actor. He would interact with the crew, and what was particularly good, he was very helpful with the young actors who didn't have the experience. He would make a point of doing a fair amount of rehearsing with them while we were lighting. For instance, Jack Nicholson was a young actor who was working with me on some other films, played weirdly enough Peter Lorre's son in The Raven, and Vincent made a point of rehearsing heavily with Jack and with Peter, helping Jack.
On Fall of the House of Usher, you were working with double the budget that you were accustomed to working with. Did that stretch you as a producer? Did it give you a new sense of your talent, your ability?
Well, not so much as a producer, but as a director, yes. As a producer, the problems were very similar, except that I was trying to do more. I had 15 days instead of 10, which was the most important thing as a director, because I was able to work a little more closely with the actors, and I was able to use the Hollywood term, get more coverage, simply more angles. The earlier 10-day pictures would have fewer shots within them, but the 15 days enabled me to get more moving camera work, hopefully more interesting camera and intricate camera angles, and simply more coverage, more angles, which is always an advantage when you get into the editing room.
You worked a lot in your early years as a director with a cameraman named Floyd Crosby, who also worked with you on these films. When you were young, was it a helpful thing to you to work with people who had vast experience? And can you remember things that they taught you, like Floyd Crosby, for example?
Yes, Floyd was the cameraman on my very first film, which I produced. It Stalked the Ocean Floor, which my title, I sold it to an independent producer. He thought the title was too arty. He changed it to Monster from the Ocean Floor. And then he was the cameraman on my second film, The Fast and the Furious, a title, incidentally, that I did very well with a number of years ago when Universal bought the title with me from me, and I made a little money, and they made a whole lot of money with that. And then on my first picture as a director, a Western, 5 Pounds West, he was very helpful. Matter of fact, I remember one of the things he said was, because I would sometimes look down to the script on my picture. And Floyd said, really don't look down at the script. Just, you know the dialogue, the actors know the dialogue. Concentrate on that. And that got to the point where I would essentially, while shooting, not even have the script. And I realized that the visual took precedence.